Hi everyone, Carl here, and today I will be adding some muscle and clothing onto this armature I prepared in a previous video. For most part, adding muscle is fairly procedural. Every muscle has a given shape, beginning and end. Depending on the pose, it can be stretched or contracted, but the attachment points will always be the same. I like to use one lump of putty per muscle group, such as the cuff, and a smart person can quickly identify where it should go on the armature pretty precisely, using an anatomical chart. Or an idiot like me can forget where he put his charts and take a best guess. In any case, once the putty has been plonked down, it's just a case of spreading it into place and moving on to the next muscle group. Of course, you don't need to replicate every single muscle. Remember that this piece is about 3 cm tall. Even if you did that, most of it would be invisible. As with most parts of the process, I did this in several passes. For example, I didn't do the shoulders right away, because those interact heavily with the muscles in the arms. To get a clot effect, I smoothed out the covered areas. Then I added strips of putty anywhere I thought a crease might make sense and blended that in. One thing you have to watch out for is the interaction between a soft surface, like cloth or flesh, and stuff like straps or belts. Belts and the like will pinch down the soft surface, so just laying a belt on top of fabric will look weird. Instead, I stop the fabric area just before the belt starts, and leave a tiny beveled recess for the belt to sit in. Later, I also added another strip of fabric over the top of the belt. Any ragged bits are pretty easy. Just blend in some extra putty, then go to town on it, pulling bits off. Details like the toes can be a bit tricky. In fact, I did them twice here. The first time I added a strip to the front of the foot, and then used a knife to cut individual toes. I wasn't too happy with that though, so I ended up cutting them off and replacing them with individual balls of putty. That worked out a lot better, and thanks go to Juniper Bout from the Mordheim Face group for the tip. Plates of armor on the other hand are fairly simple. Place some putty, shape it and smooth it over. If you want a really smooth finish, I have a separate video for that. Once I had most of the body done, including the fancy cut piece which you can see in a previous video, I drilled a hole to accept another piece of wire, which I use as an armature for the arm. I also made a small loop to help me form the hand. In retrospect, this setup was a terrible mistake, as it made it very difficult to cut out the arm for casting. If I had to do it again, I'd sculpt part of the shoulder, then drill it so the wire is a straight line rather than a hook. Still, it kind of worked out in the end with some reconstruction. For the right arm, I didn't really bother with an armature. Was going to, but then ended up sculpting the arm so it's laying against the body, so I could just build off that. And that's where I'll stop this video. The head is a pretty complex part, so I think it's better to give that some focus in a video of its own. In the meantime, you can also check out the cool zombie sculpted by Earthmanbrick and Hacksaw's Hobby Bunker. Links in the description below. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you enjoyed it and will join me for the next one. In the meantime, stay safe and have a great day.